There will be a gorilla in Chapter 5. Just trust me.
How much you want to bet on that?
$1.
On this Deltarune survey, over 2,000 people rated what they thought about over 300 Deltarune theories. My co-host and I have ratings along with text responses and old theories just to look back on. Which theories were liked? Why were some theories even made? What did they think about?
So, for this category, it's controversial theories. So, it basically entails just any theory that was like, had a lot of like, detractors, like an extreme amount, or was like joke theories, or
most of these
like
are memes.
Debunked. Yeah, also memes.
Most of these are just memes or things that were already debunked after Chapter 2. I mean, some of these were theories from Chapter 1 that were already debunked in Chapter 1.
I guess. Yeah, that's true.
There's at least one or two of those in there.
Yeah. The thing with this category is that, you know, there are some theories you could have put in here. That goes for like a lot of theories. Some theories could have been in a different category and such, but where they are is where they are, and you know. Yeah. But this first one, this one's a classic. Sans is Ness. So basically, the idea behind this theory is that Sans from the hit indie game Undertale is Ness from the SNES RPG Earthbound. And there's like this machine or whatever that like you travel through time with, but you can't travel through time with your body. So your consciousness is like sent into like a robot, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, and sometime like after the Earthbound, he like uses this machine and he ends up in the underground of Undertale. And we can like find a weird machine in his lab behind his house. And a badge. What was the name of the badge that Ness has?
Franklin
Ness.
badge.
I meant Ness.
Yeah,
the Franklin
badge.
Ness. Yeah, but called Ness. It's Ness.
I feel like most people know what this theory is. I think everybody's watched the game theory video. It's very old. It's an Undertale theory.
Yeah.
Nobody really liked it back then.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
It was funny.
It was a good theory. I mean, like, in retrospect, let's be real here. The idea of, Sans is from a different universe of some kind, right? That was just fucking right. That was just right. You know, it's just like MatPat was right about that. It's just like he didn't have Deltarune to work off of at the time.
Yeah.
Right? How could he have reasonably assumed that Toby was going to make a sequel that was set in an alternate universe of Undertale that would explain all the mysteries about Sans, right? How could he predict that? So it's like he's working with what he has, and so what he has is like the Earthbound Halloween hack, you know?
Yeah. It seems like, Toby himself was like, wasn't too big on like that. Used as evidence, I think. He tweeted about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, he also made, like, when MatPat was announced his retirement, Toby also made fan art of Sans and Papyrus dressed as Ness.
Fan art? It's not fan art. What do you mean fan art? It's his characters.
It's fan art of the theory. It's fan art of the
theory.
Yeah.
Official art.
Okay, official art of a fan theory.
Yeah. It's not like
it's fan art because Toby's such a big fan of the theory, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Toby thinks it's funny and stuff, and a lot of people too, which is why it had 12% of the vote gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like ironically. This is not the only one where that happens, where people will give it an ironic 10 out of 10. It happens. Yeah. This theory basically just speaks for itself. You know, back in the Undertale days, like you said, Deltarune was like the missing piece.
To work off of.
Yeah, and because this was like this was basically like a big theory. There, you had to make like a counter theory of sorts, and then like the idea of like Sans not bleeding was developed. That was like developed as a theory, and like Sans just faking bleeding, which ketchup was like a counterpoint.
Yes, they catch up.
So you either had that or Sans's Ness.
There was a lot of weird mysteries with Sans back in Undertale that we just did not have the Deltarune context to understand, right? And I still feel like I don't understand a lot of those. It's like, what's going to happen in Deltarune? It's going to result in Sans coming to Undertale and getting trapped there. Why is he even showing up in Deltarune anyway? My personal theory regarding Sans of Papyrus right now.
I guess we can talk about that.
Yeah, just really quick, because it's very short. And it's not anywhere on this list. It's that Sans and Papyrus are like Rick and Morty, and they're like dimensional time traveler, like dimension hoppers and stuff like that.
I remember that. That's a cute idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at like the text responses people said, it's funny. I like it. Mad Pat.
Yeah.
Hilariously bad. Fuck game theory. Overhated theory. Like, yeah, I guess it is.
It is overhated.
Slightly overhated, but it is also kind of weird, baffling.
I mean, it's not right, but it's like, it wasn't like completely wrong either, and it was definitely overhated. People took it too far.
Okay, yeah. People took it way too seriously. That's what one of the people said.
Yep.
Yeah. Am I supposed to give an ironic on this one? Confirmed untrue. Hit 10 because it's funny. Joke theory. Yeah. Subpar Mad Pat. Really confusing copyright-wise. This is something I thought about back when the theory came out. I was like, but can Toby just do that? That was one thing I thought about back then. And
he's not Nessie, Sans, you know?
Okay, fair enough. This last point, though, I wanted to read from the text responses. Pretty sure Mad Pat didn't mean they're literally the same person. I don't know.
I think Mad Pat was just trying to make something interesting to think about and talk about.
Yeah.
And not necessarily come up with the correct answer, which I don't think he is trying to do most of the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
like you got like old game theory, like before FNAF and stuff came out. It was mostly just applying real world math to video games.
Yeah.
You know, that was most
and then they just kind of moved away from that over to just only being lore analysis, epic lore, deep lore. Whoa!
Yeah, because that's what was like that was just getting more views, you know.
Yeah, there was like a other guy who did like a sideshow that was like more math based, but then he quit.
Yeah, there was a lot of sideshows on the channel.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. That's enough game theory. Okay, this next one's really funny. Sans is Steven Universe. So, Sans is Steven Universe from a scrapped ending for the show Steven Universe, about a young boy who lives with like 3 aliens based on like rocks and you probably
feel
know
like
what Steven
instead
Universe
of
is.
Explaining this, it's better to just pull up the comic and have it on screen.
I'm not gonna act like this is a real
is an anagram for Steven after not surviving.
Yeah. This is
the idea
like
is Steven got cancer and then died and became Sans the skeleton. It's not a real theory. It was just a joke comic making a joke about like a hypothetical anagram that somebody came up with. It is hilarious. This is a solid 10 out of 10. I think I voted 10 on this one if I remember correctly.
You know what's looking at Sans's Ness, overwhelming amount of 1 out of 10s. Nobody liked it. This one's even worse, like way worse. I
love this one so much. It's so funny.
That's fair. Look, even if you look at if you even just ignore the 10s, you can see that like Sans's Ness has like a few like somewhat positive votes, and then on Steven Universe it's even less than what Sans's Ness had.
Yeah.
Weird. Like this. It's just a meme. It's a joke theory. It's not like a real thing. It doesn't need a fucking theory explanation.
It's a joke. What do you think about the joke? I love it. I love this joke. I think it's hilarious.
I like it. I think it's funny. I don't know. People just saw that they had like a similar mouth shape, you know, and then they just made a meme out of that. I guess it's like, I don't know. I guess that Hallard's bean mouth bullshit.
Yeah.
With like cartoons. They do have
a similar body shape. That's true.
Yeah.
Like you look
I don't know.
That Steven skeleton, you know, in Steven Universe feature, it looks just like Sans, you know?
I don't know. Unrelated, but I don't know. The talk about like cartoons being bad now and before cartoons were good. I don't know. That kind of stuff is silly.
It's pretty much, it's literally just old man yelling at clouds, is it not?
Yes. But back to like the theory. Oh yeah, this one person in particular asked, was Steven Universe even out when Undertale was released? Someone on the survey asked this, like for text response. And yes,
yeah,
it
I'm pretty
was
sure
released.
it was, yeah.
And that includes the demo. The demo came out just a few days after Steven Universe.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, because the demo came out in like what, 2013, right?
Yes. And Steven Universe came out in 2013 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of funny to me. At least we know that. Okay, just looking at some of the text responses we got was like the original bait theory. And some people were like, not as funny as Sans' Ness. And then there were some people who were like, this shit is even more better. Both Ness and Steven. Oh boy. I would accidentally get close to the edge of a cliff and slip on a rock. Okay. Copyright brought back again. Sure. Yeah, this is a funny one. Do you think this one? Yeah, I think this one's funnier, honestly.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
The anagram fucking makes the whole thing for me.
Oh my god, wait.
After not surviving.
Someone made like alternate versions like of Papyrus and Muffet. And like two characters from the Spider-Verse films, like Papyrus.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we could just put them on the screen. Those are funny. Yeah. Funny. This next one is Gasleak Theory. So this theory proposes that Chris did not make a fountain. They actually just started a gas leak. Some people say that Chris only ate the pie, like during like the last ending, like in chapter 1, and this would be like a continuation of like bait and switch endings.
Yes.
And it seemed like nobody took this seriously at all. Really.
Yeah.
It was treated as a joke.
It was created as a joke because I remember the original like post where this came from. It came from like a 4chan post, I think, where somebody was just literally just in like a Deltarune thread where somebody was just like, actually, no, it was a gas leak. Chris just hit a gas line, Lamau. Something like that. And then it got like shared to Reddit and stuff, and it spread through there. And so, yeah, it was originally created as a joke. It was a joke that wasn't even funny past the original like 4chan thread it was made in. I don't know. This is like, for me, this is a joke theory that's like not even funny because it's just like, oh, that's not really that funny. And then it's just kind of like, if you even try to like argue it like semi-seriously on any level, it just becomes, okay, well, no, that's dumb. You know? It's like,
I don't know. I don't know if that's how...
It's not even one of those like, oh, it would be funny if it came true, or it's a funny idea. This one just feels kind of like an unfunny joke that's also like would be really dumb and bad theory-wise.
Not even
on
like
any level. Like it's not even one of those. Oh, well, that would be. You can say it would be so funny if it was true, though. It's like, well, no, it wouldn't be.
Huge amount of people were like calling like Chris Knight a red herring, and I don't know. Seems like this wasn't treated like it would be a red herring, and it wasn't.
No,
Gasleak wasn't a red herring.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say on this theory specifically? I do actually. When I imagined this theory, the only way I saw this working was that it would be a gas leak. You would just kind of treat it regularly, and then you have like the exploring hometown segment, and then you go back to the Dreamer house, and then the Dark World is suddenly there. That's how I imagined this theory, if it would work semi-decently, but that's the only tolerable way.
That would still be weird and pointless, you know?
Yeah, it would be weird and pointless for no reason, but at least, I don't know. It's like it kind of happened, but also didn't. I don't know if I imagined the fountain getting delayed, or if the knight came in to make a fountain or something. I don't know. Looking at some of the text responses people said, nobody actually believes this. That's true. And then there was one person who said,
actually believes this.
Yeah, I believe this is a red herring. This isn't funny like the other ones, so I won't rate it a 10. Yeah, so it pretty much shows
that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, just a meme. If there was a gas leak, then the TV wouldn't smile. Yeah, that's actually very true. That would be even make it weirder.
This theory was like Giga killed when the chapter 3 like first teasers came out and they showed off the Dark World. So yeah,
this is just dead on revival. I mean, unless my interpretation was right, but whatever. Some other stuff people said was hate the idea all the Chris cutscenes are just bait and switch jokes.
Yes.
Please, no. It would be a dumb joke. Yeah, it seems like less people like less people got something ironic out of this. But also at the same time, it does have while it has have an overwhelming amount of 1/10s, it does have more in like 2, 3s, and 4s compared to like
that's true.
Sans' Master Sans' Steven Universe. So I guess this one did better despite having less 10s.
Yeah. It's true. It definitely got a lot less ones. This only got like 50% of ones, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough of this theory, honestly. Okay, this next one. This is probably the worst theory ever. Ralsei is a girl. Sexist theory, honestly. What do you have to say on it? I know you really hate it.
This one, this one's my absolute least favorite. And just to like make it super clear to everybody, this theory is not like Ralsei is trans femme. This theory is specifically that Ralsei is a cis girl who is pretending to be a boy throughout the entire game, right? And they're not like trans, they're just pretending to be a boy. Like it's a Mulan situation.
Yeah, this is like a theory from Treecicle back in like the chapter 1 days. It wasn't, I don't think it was well received back then.
No.
Either. It was made fun of in joke videos or something.
Yeah.
I know you admitted to believing in like in the shitty Deltarune theory or something, like Ralsei is Asriel or something. Did you say that?
Yeah, but that was also much more reasonable in like chapter 1 to be
Fair.
like, oh, well, Ralsei is Asriel pretending to give himself a shitty fake name. Like that's more reasonable back in chapter 1.
Yeah.
It was also in the context of like I didn't see his like death animation because I just never died.
Yeah, I don't know. I believed this theory for like a couple of days, and then I was like talking with some people, and they were talking about like it saying Prince of Darkness, and I was like, oh, I forgot, and then I just moved on. And this is like a theory I hated on more as time went on. Ralsei is like going against like gender norms, and so is like Susie too. You know, they don't fit like typical standards. That was like an aspect of the story I cared about.
Yes. I'm like surprised genuinely how many times I still see people like get Ralsei's pronouns wrong and stuff just off of them like not actually reading or paying attention to the dialogue. Like I see this from like casual people and like Let's Players and stuff. I've
seen it happen with Susie too. Like people calling her a guy. And of course there's also Chris. People misgendering them, obviously.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's around like it did worse than Sans' Ness, but not quite as bad as Sans' Steven Universe. Apparently this is more acceptable to some. Whatever. I mean that's not what that means. It's like an average or
you gotta keep in mind, it got like no 10s, right? It got like what 33 10s.
Yeah, this people didn't even like this ironically.
Yes.
There's one aspect I wanted to get to with this theory.
Yes.
I mentioned it briefly. It's I don't know, like I said, it's Ralsei and Susie are like going against like typical gender norms, and like this theory is kind of sexist, you know. It kind of assumes that guys and girls must be manly or girly or masculine, whatever. They have to fit stereotypes like that or gender norms.
Yes, that was like a big argument within the Treecicles video and stuff like that, because if I remember correctly, I don't want to say serious, but like because that theory was like he read the dialogue, he knew that Ralsei's pronouns are he him, he just argued against that, right? He argued that Ralsei taking the hat off was meant to be a reveal that he is a girl.
Oh yeah,
that's what he argued in the video and stuff.
Even though it's supposed to be a reveal that
he looks like a dreamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at like the text responses people said, if I could give this a negative score, I would. It's worse than awful. One person said, -12. Keep the femboy go. Let there be femboys. Literally a prince. Let the men be feminine. The girls be masculine, please. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. And then at least say he's trans or something instead. Ralsei is FTM is the most I will give this credit. But we weren't thinking about those. Yeah. Or I wasn't thinking about those. Bad theory, awful theory. Let's just move on. Rouxls Kaard is Gaster. Rouxls Kaard has like a similar face to Gaster, and maybe they're the same. That's like all I wrote on my summary.
Yeah.
I will say this though. In chapter 3, we got like a part where Rouxls just started using his hands in his icon for whatever reason. You remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that really took my attention. Honestly, it grabbed my attention. Just like, oh no, that was funny to me.
This theory is like kind of hypothetically possible if you're going off of like the logic of like Gaster shards and stuff, and that Gaster is split into like a billion pieces across the universe or whatever. The multiverse. Because that one, Gaster follower is like, oh, I'm holding a piece of Gaster right here. So maybe Rouxls Kaard is just a fragment of Gaster somehow. So maybe everybody's a little bit Gaster,
Everyone's a little bit Gaster. Yeah, nobody really liked this one. I guess that's fair. Out of the ones we've shown so far, this one's doing the best, but it's still doing pretty awful.
Yeah.
It would be funny. People are saying it would be funny though. I don't know, people did draw the connection between them. I guess there is definitely some sort of connection. Like you said, one person also brought up a piece of Gaster. That could be possible, maybe in some weird way. There's definitely some sort of connection. People have also drawn the connection that like Rouxls Kaard is going to be like a secret boss at some point.
Well, he got already 2 regular bosses.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Probably not a secret boss.
Yeah, I think that role probably might go to Sean. Yeah. Or something.
At this point, it seems like Rouxls Kaard and Lancer were just kind of bits within the first 3 chapters, and now they're done. Because they were not in chapter 4 at all.
Yeah.
Like, they did not show up even once. Like, they're not even in Chris's inventory, I'm pretty sure.
So weird.
Yeah.
They're just forgotten. Looking at some of the text responses people said, maybe not literally the same person, but the connection is intentional, like I brought up. Alright, if he's somewhat of a parallel, maybe. Better than most here. Funny as a fake out, but not as a real plot point. Joke theory. I love Rouxls theories, but no. Red herring? Do you think it's...
I don't know how you could have a red herring for Gaster. He's barely, like, consciously known of, like, the hyper-casual fan base,
I don't know.
Like, people are, like, kind of aware of him, but, like, I don't know.
I mean, he does have plenty of fan art and stuff, and plenty of...
That's true. I mean, like, I think Gaster can work fine just by showing up and being like, hey, remember me? I was the guy who made the vessel with you from the start of the game. And that's all you really need, right?
Yeah.
Because then it's just like, here's this new character that's answering this mystery of from the start. And that, I think it's good enough.
Yeah, I think that's fine enough. Unimportant gag character. This next one is Annoying Dog is the Night. In Chapter 2, it is said that a dog started the traffic jam right outside. And this is like a direct reference to the annoying dog in the car that you can like later find a Easter egg off in like close by the egg room. The annoying dog also shows up in a big room in the Queen's mansion.
Yes.
So maybe the annoying dog is the Knight and they made the fountain like after starting the traffic jam. That's the theory.
Yes. I actually did make a little theory about this. It was gonna be a joke theory, but then I thought it was too complicated. The joke had too many like layers to it, and so I kind of just scrapped it.
That's fair.
But the joke was basically this was literally what it was. The dog did donuts to cause the traffic jam, then drove into the library. Toby got out of his car and then played Swords Revealing Light. He turned, he animorphed back into his human form because the annoying dog is Toby Fox, and then he played Swords of Revealing Light, which froze Llewellyn Birdley in place for 3 turns. Then he made the Dark Fountain, and then he used his Men in Black memory eraser to erase Llewellyn Birdley's memories, and then he turned back into his dark form, got back in the car, and let the fountain turn the room into a dark world. And that's what happened.
Amazing.
And then after you did the thing with him in Queen's Mansion, he no-clipped out of the dark world. That's what happened. Yeah.
Awesome. So
that's how the annoying dog is the Knight.
Yeah. I decided to put this here instead of like along with the other Knight candidates, I guess, because I don't know. I guess it was because annoying dog is like based on Toby in a way.
Yeah.
And also kind of like a joke. It is a joke, but also it's based on a real person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Annoying Dog Knight could work if you assume he can animorph back into his human form. so
I mean,
that
why
he would
would
have
you want
opposable hands and thumbs.
Mm.
Because then you get like the really ham-fisted author metaphor and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, people brought that up in the text responses. Actually kind of makes sense with the whole Deltarune is about creating fiction reading.
Yeah.
As a punishment, I'm gonna answer 10 to all of them to mess up your stats. Okay. And then one person just said Homestuck. Please comment below and explain how this one's Homestuck. I need to know.
Honestly, this is not the worst Knight theory.
It's not the
in my
worst Knight
opinion.
theory. Toby made the game, makes the dreams happen. One of my notes said too low because of Gaster. I don't know what that means. Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I would ignore
Okay,
it.
well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, a lot of the text responses, like, most of them were, like, funny, but would be bad. You know, it's the kind of typical you would expect. Yeah, wow, there was surprisingly not a lot to say about this. Or, I guess could it still be true, though?
In a cosmic sort of way, yeah.
Cosmic?
Yeah, I mean, like, Toby's still making those dark worlds, is he not?
Yeah, he is Des, and he is... Wait, if he is Des, and he is Chris, and he is also Papyrus, that means Papyrus is the nuts, right? Or what about Temmie?
No.
What about Temmie?
Well, that's the next one. Temmie Knight's the next one.
That's the next one. Temmie is the knight. This one's also based on a real person, like the annoying dog, but for a different person on the Deltarune team. They were also counting eggs we collect. And like, how do they know how many eggs? They might be able to do more stuff than we first assumed, so
yeah,
we might be the knight.
This is like the same as the annoying dog knight, but was
Yeah.
worse, you know?
Yeah, at least...
Like, I can't even think of any obscene, funny scenarios where this could maybe make sense.
At least the annoying dog entered the dark world. We have proof of that.
The annoying dog was literally just seen at the scene of the crime, you know?
Yes, it's suspicious enough.
Yeah.
Yes, the same thing that can be said about the annoying dog that was bad about it can be said here again. Like, it's based on a real person or whatever. It's like, I don't know.
Doesn't have hands. Doesn't have thumbs.
Yeah. Not the creator of the game and such. I got like one interesting text response here that was like, never mix real life with fictional life. It'll never work well. Yeah, not much to say here, I guess. I guess this theory is here. This is just a joke.
So let's take a little break from like one theory one by one, because here is like a different thing that we thought would fit well with this video. So at the end of the survey, people were asked a bunch of different questions, you know, because I wanted to know some extra stuff about them and maybe see if that could maybe help, maybe. And one of the questions was about the best and worst theory. What was the worst theory? I went through all of the results there and I made a list of like all the mentions of every theory here. So we have like a list of what people considered to be like the worst. And this is very different from like the theories on the survey with the lowest ratings, because some of that stuff is going to be like obscure stuff nobody actually cares about, because the lowest rated theory on the survey is not the one that's on top of this list. That's not actually surprising. So sometimes this list isn't really a way to judge the quality of the theory.
Yeah, because these are the individual text responses, even stuff that wasn't on the survey.
Yeah, there are a lot of stuff that wasn't on the survey. There are a lot of theories that were only mentioned like 1, 2, or 3 times, and that's about it. So we're gonna start from the very bottom. Make yourselves up. We're gonna find some interesting.
Wait, go scroll down a little bit back.
Gaster
Man. What the fuck is Gaster Man?
The man behind the tree is Gaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that simple.
I thought it was a theory about like some superhero named Gaster Man.
No.
Yeah.
A Vessel Knight. No,
only one person who is a true Vessel Knight hater.
Yeah.
Ness.
And
just Ness.
Ness. Just Ness. They wrote just Ness. Incest happens. fluey theories. Sometimes people would say stuff like Sans will be important, Kaard will be important, and that's not really a specific theory, but I would still label it.
Yeah.
So
somebody just wrote shipping. Just shipping.
Yeah, there are multiple actual ships on here though. Yeah. Let's just continue further. Chris is 2 people. Anti-Rang Ralsei. Oh my god. Remember when the weird Valentine's letter was like the biggest thing of the community? Everyone was talking about it. So this is like a remnant of that.
I'm honestly surprised that only one person put that. You'd think it would be at least 2 or 3. Maybe.
Yeah, only one.
Although I guess there are a lot of way worse theories than that.
Yeah.
So having it be like your most hated, it's a bit of a random pick.
Do you think they're from Andrew's server?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Sans is in love with Asgore.
That's so random.
You're gonna find weird stuff.
What theory is that? I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody suggest that Sans and Asgore were in love with each other.
Don't forget it's sung by Asriel for Susie. Ralsei Knight. But the angel theories, like Noel Angel, Player Angel, Eldritch Angel, those only got like 1 mention, which is interesting.
Jar Jar Sans multiversal.
Yeah, it's that that Sans, traveled to Undertale. Oh my god, what was that again?
The Mystery Man.
Was Sans or something, and when Sans from Deltarune traveled to Undertale or something, I think the universe couldn't handle that or something.
And then the Sans in that universe gets replaced with the new one. Man, I sure do love having to record over where the recording was acting stupid. I hope this happens again.
I don't remember. It's weird. I don't
listed
remember.
Here that's just Jello knife. I'm guessing they're referring to specifically the idea of Chris killing Asriel with the Jello knife specifically.
Yeah, they're referring to that.
Yeah,
which is a fun, weird. Part
just
of
that specific
theory.
Part of that theory. Everything else in the theory was fine apparently.
Susie doesn't know that darkners are objects. This was literally true though. She learned that at the start of chapter 3.
And that was just true.
Chris is Susie. Yeah, Chris is Susie.
Okay.
Transphobic brutally. Anti-homophobic Toriel.
Against the idea that Toriel's homophobic? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, anti-homophobic Toriel. If it's homophobic Toriel, then they hate the fact that it is a theory. That's is important.
That guy might have dropped Deltarune when the new chapters dropped.
We get the some people later are gonna drop it even harder. That it's not that deep. Universal Mother theory. This is Chris.
Jess is Chris. That was like a Jaru theory.
Theories
7 Knights got 1 vote.
Yeah.
And Chris's Saiyan Soul got 1 vote.
My fucking Knight theory got off scot-free. It's scot-free. It's not on this list. Yeah, my theory is fucking good. It doesn't get mentioned there at all. And
when a dark world is sealed, any lightners inside its dark world appear in the exact same spot where they were on before entering it.
Yeah, I just quoted exactly what they said.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean that's literally was obviously objectively false, even in chapters 1 and 2, with how Chris and Susie leave the dark worlds and stuff. It was specifically a Closet Knight point.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because people would argue that regarding Closet Knight and stuff, why Noel and Birdley had to be sitting down the table.
Yeah, but Chris and Susie literally move.
Yeah, they go from the front door to the table.
Yeah, now we're on to the theories with 2 mentions. 10 chapters did get to. Okay.
Why would you be against 10 chapters?
Flower Shop Dark World. Being a trans ally, people said transphobic stuff, so...
Specifically, like, people being like, Chris being non-binary was their least favorite theory.
Yeah. Joke theories, Narakara, Gaster Mystery Man, yeah. Only 2 people.
Piss and shit theory got 2 votes.
Yeah. I think they hate the theory because of the name of the theory.
Asgore killed Ness got 2 votes.
Frisk Knight, Undyne Knight, Alfie's Knight. Remember these Knight theories for later.
Temmie is the Eggman.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, every man is important. Unbreakable time loop, though time loop is mentioned later.
Writing on the Wall got 3 votes.
Writing on the Wall, Papyrus Man.
Multiple
endings.
3 votes.
4 mentions. Look at these.
Closet Knight got 4 votes. Kara Butterfly Theory got 4 votes. I am kind of surprised that Kara Butterfly Theory was popular enough to even get 4 votes.
Okay, I thought you said you thought it was gonna get higher.
Oblivion Theory got 4 votes.
That was a big Twitter theory.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Death Knight.
And it's just as bad as many people hated Death Knight as their least favorite theory. I mean, I kind of get it. I suppose it makes enough sense. Death Knight was more popular. Nobody was arguing for Birdly Knight, so it's not like there was much hatred to get built up for it.
Yeah, I wonder how these people feel now. They must be mad.
If Death Knight was your straight up least favorite theory, you probably drop Deltarune.
Yeah. After this, it kind of stops being a lot of them. Less and less. Multiple on one.
That makes sense.
Okay. Only one ending. Yes player, which refers to the fact that there
is a player in the game.
I wrote there being no player as no player.
So 5 people were like, if the player is in Deltarune, that's the worst theory ever. That the player is in Deltarune.
Yeah.
5 people gave
Sans Deltarune.
Sans Deltarune? Okay. Multi Knight got 5. 6 people said Everyman Knight. 6 people said Asgore Knight. And then 6 people said Chris killed Dus. Chris killed Dus is still kind of on the table, right?
Kinda. I don't know. Oh, here's a classic one on 7. Chris Genocide. And Kara Third Entity. Those are pretty simple. Yeah. These are basically all the same. No Mana Theory 8 times. No theory was mentioned 8.
Anti-Chris Knight got 9 people.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
This one will be interesting. We'll bring this one up later. We don't need to mention everything here.
We might as well. There's not a lot of them.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Weird Root Good Ending got 9. Yeah, that makes sense. It's justifiable.
Terra Theory.
Terra Theory got 11.
We talked about that theory in the Chris video. Go check that one out if you have
no idea what Terra Theory is.
Firegrave.
Friend
Chapter 3 Weird Root.
Important. Got 12. Wonder how those people are holding up.
Okay, but now we're in the top 30. The top 30 worst theories. 14. Time loop theory. Unspecified. They didn't say if it was breakable or not. Sans is important.
Got 15.
A lot of people wanted Deltarune to stand its
own. They didn't want the popular character
to just be the popular guy again.
Honestly, I get it. I don't really want Sans to do that much either.
Oh, hey, look, here's another guy, which basically people said the same thing for. Asriel is important.
You see, I kind of disagree on that. I feel like I don't want Asriel to like steal the spotlight or the show or anything, but I do want him to like do literally anything. I want him to at least be present.
Yeah, but it's why it's in parentheses, because important could mean a lot. It could mean that he's dead or something,
like this, not the centerpiece of the story,
Oh, here's another one that's on 28th place.
Alvin Knight got 16. Damn.
Yeah.
16 people said Alvin Knight was their least favorite theory.
Well, it's not my least favorite, but yeah, it is pretty
awful. This video isn't sponsored or anything, but this would have been a funny place to do an ad. I do make music though. You should check that out.
Sans is Steven.
17. How could you hate that theory? How could you hate Sans is Steven after not surviving? It's so funny.
Time loop theory. This is every mention of time loop theory included in one, which is 26. Chess theory. Also
chess theory. 26. Damn. 18 people voted for chess theory. Damn.
Oh, here's player bad. Asriel Knight.
I wonder how many people voting for Asriel Knight would be nowadays, Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say though?
Nah, I was agreeing. Chris is Frisk. No player. There is the theory that there is no player.
Yeah.
Deltarune's a prequel. Gasleak Theory.
Gasleak Theory doesn't feel worthy of being hated. It's just stupid. It's worthy of being like forgotten, it feels like,
Yeah. Anti-Gaster. The idea that Gaster is important. The opposite of that. Basically like anti-Gaster denial.
Yeah.
Peeping against that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Chris is Kara.
29
here's the opposite of Gaster.
Important.
You also had like people saying like, oh, people thinking that everything is Gaster. Oh, this is Gaster. Using that as answer for everything.
Right.
Which is a fair assessment.
I'm surprised Gaster's important got higher than like Gaster's anti-Gaster's important.
It's like I said, it's in parentheses because it could mean
it's vague.
It's not necessarily Gaster
denial.
Just so that's clear. 17th place, Deltarune is a sequel. 16th place, Chris is evil.
With 36 people saying Chris is evil. Damn. I wonder how they feel about the new chapters now that we know that Chris is participating in police sacrifices next week.
I don't think the people who hated it that much were like trying to like defend Chris as much as possible in that way.
I just wonder how they feel about it. I wonder if they're the group of people who are still coping about Chris not being evil or being like forced against their will to participate in the Knight plan.
I don't think they realize that they were super wrong. Oberon Smog, 15th place.
That one's another funny one because like Oberon Smog is like such an awkward theory to like discuss whether or not it's wrong or not, because like we did get a Dustner of Gerson that did happen.
Yeah,
they're not the Knight though.
But they weren't the Knight,
and they don't work at all like how Jaru like said they were gonna do. So it's like, how correct is this theory? That depends on how like generous you want to be to Jaru, I guess.
Yeah. Also on 15th place, sharing it with Oberon Smog, Sans' Ness. Oh, and D&D theory that they're just making it up, the adventures.
You know, frankly, D&D theory in retrospect was pretty like close and accurate overall. It's just that the Dark World magic is also real, right?
Yeah.
Sans' Ness is overhated. It was a very like it's funny, it's goofy, but also like MadPat did get that Sans was from a different like universe correct.
Some people just said Jaru's channel.
All Jaru. So. Jaru as a being that exists. Jaru is the worst theory. 41 people said Jaru.
Yeah, I feel a little sorry for him, but also, I don't know, he did it to himself. 13th place. Oh my god, this is supposed to say Undertale. That's supposed to be Undertale. People just saying theories that try to relate the game too much to Undertale, or like stuff like, oh, it's Undertale 2. That's 13th place.
Just gave some vague Undertale remark. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god. 12th place. Friend Inside Me.
Friend Inside Me. We gotta wait till chapter 5 to see if Friend Inside Me pays dividends or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be true. It actually has setup in game now.
It's crazy. Enough. Friend Inside Me is like the crazy thing. If we get anything even slightly cowboy boss fight related, even if it's just a mini boss in chapter 5, it's gonna be so crazy, right?
Yeah.
The long game, the long con.
11th.
Naked Ralsei.
The 11th first theory. Naked Ralsei.
Naked Ralsei is such a good theory, guys. You guys are just hating on it. You're hating on Ralsei's nakedness. It's not okay. It's important to his character growth, okay?
Okay, now we're about to enter the top 10 worst Deltarune theories considered by fans. Are you excited for this, Chestnut?
Yeah. Okay. What's worse than Naked Ralsei?
Papyrus Knight.
Yeah, Papyrus Knight is worse than Naked Ralsei theory.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is not even the most mentioned Knight theory.
Yeah, that's true.
Asriel is Ralsei. Number 9.
71 votes.
And here comes Chris Knight, the worst Knight theory of them all.
Yeah, with 75 votes, Chris Knight is the 8th most hated theory ever.
That is insane. More people hate Chris Knight than people hate Papyrus Knight.
Like especially in context of people's absolute least favorite theory, like it would instantly ruin Deltarune for them if it were true type hatred.
Yeah.
Right? Number 1 least favorite theory of all time, Chris Knight. Considering that we ended up getting Chris Des Multi-Knight, I'm sure none of the people that voted for Chris Knight even recognized the fact that what we got was a Chris Knight variant. That's
what I was trying to say with like people who wrote like Chris is evil. It's like they should hate the game.
By their own logic, they shouldn't like what they got.
Okay, number 7. Okay, look at that.
The jump is crazy.
We've been like, it's been slowly increasing, and now we just went from 75 to 126.
Yeah.
Homophobic Toriel.
Homophobic Toriel is so good. It's such a good theory, guys. Yeah. I love that shit so much.
Number 6. Now we just go up by 1 mention, but Frisk is important.
I kind of get it.
What else did I say?
I kind of get it. Being like, Frisk doing anything in Deltarune, I kind of get it. Yeah, kind of get the hate.
Okay. Number 5, Evil Ralsei. Now we also went up by just 1 mention again.
Evil Ralsei, yeah.
Yeah.
How evil is Ralsei is yet to be determined, frankly.
At number 4, I am surprised this is not the top 3, but Ralsei is a girl with 131 mentions.
I'm pretty sure I put this as my most hated theory.
I put this as my least favorite too.
Yeah.
I put this as my least favorite too.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's horrendous. It's I think it's genuinely a lot worse
than the top spot.
It's pretty bad. It also has like an entire video made for it. The video like got taken down because the creator was like so embarrassed about
Number 3, third entity. Now we had the bit of a jump again from
183
up to
for
183. Third entity is pretty bad. It like diminishes like the whole fucking meta narrative and why it's engaging.
If you really think about it though, what's different between Death's third entity and what we ended up getting? If you think about it, what's the difference?
You'll love playing devil's advocate for that theory. You really
Well,
do.
since we got Chris Dust Multi-Knight, right? What's the difference between Chris Dust Multi-Knight and Chris, and Death's third entity, right?
We could talk about that then.
Yeah.
Number 2, Kara is important. Yeah, Kara is important in some way. Some people were vague about. They probably could have meant like Kara is possessing Chris. Stuff like that. I labeled it as like Kara is important, and that's like the second place here. We had another jump again. Now we're about to see the number 1 drum roll.
What's the number 1
It's
most hated?
Asriel is dead. Look at that
Damn.
jump. The jump. It just went up a jump that's higher than 100.
If you also
Asriel
add
is
the
dead.
people who just said Jaru, then it jumps up to 400 people listening it as
Wait,
their
really?
least favorite. Yeah, because 41
right,
people
you're
just
right.
said Jaru.
Oh my god.
And obviously they're
Yeah.
also talking about piles of Asriel's dust, along with all of that.
Shit,
Right?
you're right.
Because that's obviously his most hated
Wow.
theory by far. So if you add the 14th place Jaru, that adds up to like over 400 people. That
that's
listed
insane.
that
Wow,
as
a
their
lot of people.
most hated theory.
That is kind of insane. I don't think it's the worst theory, but like it does kind of show what is the most talked about like theories, like in the negative light. And yeah, these aren't too surprising, even if some of these probably should be
Lower. Someone should rewatch this part and take a sip every time this happens.
Right.
Chris Knight.
Everybody knows that Deltarune would be horrible if Asriel's dead, Kara is anywhere in this game, there's some third entity inside Chris, or Ralsei's a girl, or evil. If Ralsei's an evil girl, this game is terrible.
Evil girl. E-girl.
Evil girl, right? If Ralsei was a mean girl instead of a fluffy boy, this game would be terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not really surprised by the top pick
If
here.
Ralsei was Susie, this game would be horrible.
Do you have anything else left to say about this list?
Let's scroll back down to the bottom and look at a couple of the ones listed.
Oh my god, I forgot about the
didn't
best
mention.
fucking theory ever. Where is it?
There will be a
Best theories
gorilla
of all
in
time.
chapter 5.
This is one of the best theories of all time.
Well, we haven't gotten to chapter 5 yet, so we don't know if there's going to be a gorilla or not.
There will be a gorilla in chapter 5. Just trust me.
How much you want to bet on that?
$1. $1. I'm gonna give you $1. I'm gonna give you $1 if this theory is wrong.
Okay.
Here's a very good theory. Gaster is Susie. This is apparently a
Gaster is
better
Susie.
theory than Asriel is dead. Oh, Night.
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 Which is the theory that Night from Undertale. Remember that random anime from the core? They're the Night. Noelle Supporter got one vote. It's like she's already a party member.
Noelle main character syndrome. I remember people joking about that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Toriel is homophobic. This is a theory. So basically, at the end of Undertale, Toriel stops Undyne and Alphys from kissing in the Undertale passive extending and says, not in front of the human. She also bought this one shampoo that's like manly, according to the theory, and it went like unused by the kids.
The Icy's pizza spray it for the boys.
She wants the kids to fit into like a manly role, a stereotypically manly role, and she's like conservative. She also shows resentment towards Asgore, and some think it could be because he had like romantic feelings for Rudy.
Yes, that's part of the theory.
Yeah, that she's homophobic.
Yeah.
And this one's funny. I wrote in my notes here. This theory did one, but it wasn't for Toriel. It was Carol homophobic.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Right, the video, homophobic Toriel video.
Yeah.
It came out literally the day before Chapter 2 came out. It was a real rush job, right? And a big part of the theory was trying to figure out who C was. And they did get it a little right. They thought it was like a bunny mayor who was related to QC. Or something, I think. But if I remember correctly, like, the part of the theory was also that C was, like, homophobic as well. Which I guess ended up being correct.
Oh my god.
No, we're not really, but yeah. Like, we're joking. When we say Carol is, like, homophobic, we're just joking.
Yeah. I mean, people have made memes of about her resenting.
Yeah. This is like a half serious, half joke theory that ended up getting like very memed heavily. It was also a little bit of a meme before like that theory video came out, which is why.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's funny, honestly, but I also just I like any fan fiction where Toriel is like just evil for no reason. I just think it's funny. Like I love Undertale Toriel.
Yeah. I got some funny.
That's the only thing I care about.
I got some funny text responses. Her repressed gay thoughts come out when she drinks with Carol. She never remembers though. And then another text response was, Mayor Holiday is the real homophobic. Someone just sent that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing, people said, like, she can be religious and be a supporter. Like, this theory kind of paints the picture that if you're, like, I don't know, more traditional, like, she is definitely more traditional, but it kind of paints the picture that you are bigoted if you are that, which is strange, you know?
Yeah.
Or religious.
Yeah, I think it's safe to just be like, the theory's obviously wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
But also, I think it's funny.
That's fair. Other text responses was like, undermines her as a character. You'd think she'd misgender Chris if this was true. Toriel married the bisexual man. Yeah, she already has queer people in the family. Why is she homophobic, if we think about it that way? Another thing, sin doesn't exist in Hometown's religion. That's something one person.
But we do know that Toriel believes in sin still, which implies that she converted to the Hometown religion at some point.
Yeah.
But still holds a lot of her original Christian beliefs.
Yeah. Another text response that's kind of interesting. Is it homophobic to divorce your cheating husband? I don't know.
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Because the theory was like, Asgore was having an affair with Rudy. And therefore Toriel's homophobic for divorcing him because of that.
I don't know. There's that biphobic stereotype that bisexuals just always cheat. Yeah, so
I
don't know. I guess it kind of plays into that. He just uses it. I don't know. We got text responses like, the worst theory ever. Shay was right. They had like a segment in one Jaru video. That whole segment was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah.
Lol, what the fuck? Shut up. Truth nuke. I wish. So yeah, I don't know. This is a meme theory in the middle, like both serious and a meme. It was deleted. The original video was deleted. The original video was but it's been re-uploaded.
It's so weird, right? It came out like a day before the chapters dropped. I made like a meme video on my like shitposting channel called like Homophobic Toriel 2.
Oh,
where the idea is Toriel will suplex Grave undying because she's gay. And Toriel's homophobic, of course. And shockingly, Toriel Undying dying in chapter 3 actually did almost come true. It's just it wasn't from Toriel.
It was for the night. Yeah, that's enough of this thing. I don't think we're treating these theories unseriously enough, or does that matter?
I don't think it matters. I don't know. I'm just a little tired.
Okay, that's fair. The next one is the dark worlds are not real. This is like an old chapter 1 theory. So
yeah,
the theory was that the dark worlds are just the kids playing around, and all the darkners we see are based on actual objects, and you could like correspond it with like the unused classroom. People did take note of that, but it was like right about the object and stuff, and it like representing escapism. But the dark worlds were real.
Yeah.
They were absolutely real.
Well, actually, with how Ralsei describes them in chapter 3, he describes them all as like illusions and stuff, right? Your mind filling in the blanks. But it's weird, right? Because it's like, it's all magic shit. But it says it's magic based on imagination, but it's specifically based on the imagination of the person making the fountain and not the person in the dark world, right? That also makes it weird. But yeah, this is not right still.
Yeah, nobody really liked this one. Did pretty overwhelmingly poorly. Yeah, chapter 2 pretty much proved it wrong, and chapter 3 and 4 even more wrong. It's just gone forever. Not even like any proper ironic 10 out of 10s here. Do you have anything specific to say here? I guess it's wrong and there isn't really much else to say.
Nah, I don't care.
Nah, it was a fine theory from when it came out or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a whatever theory.
Yeah.
It wasn't like terrible necessarily, but it also wasn't like particularly well liked back then because it would have made the narrative less interesting.
Yeah, I remember like, I don't know, just seeing fan fiction about like other dark worlds that made me kind of excited for like what Deltarune would be. And then we did actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking specifically about Paper Trail. But anyways, looking at like the text responses, it would break the whole story. Like people did say stuff like that. Like it would not make sense. Undertale is a game on Deltarune Asriel's PC. So, if you check Asriel's computer in his room, you can find a folder that's called Epic Game Stuff. And maybe that's Undertale. It like explains like why the character's all different and stuff, because it's like stuff that he's imagined. And even one of the files is called Giant Rainbow Wings, which is similar to like the forum he takes at the end of the pacifist route. I don't know, this one did actually a lot better than all the other ones, but it still did pretty bad. But this one is actually a little bit not like an overwhelming amount of 1 out of 10s. It has a little bit more on some other places too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This game has like a lot of like self-inserts of like Toby Fox. You know, you have like the annoying dog Chris, but like them being bullied. Like Susie's like based on an old bully he had said. And then we have like Gerson, who's like a self-insert of Toby as like a writer. And then I've heard people say like Gaster is like a self-insert of like Toby as like a developer. So Asriel is just like a Toby Fox self-insert. So this isn't like literally supposed to be Undertale. It's just supposed to be like cute little reference. Just like someone said as a text response, an Easter egg / joke. It's not supposed to be literally Undertale, but a parallel. People mentioned that out. People brought that up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything specific to say about the theory?
Honestly, no. I don't know. This theory is always like something
baffling.
I just never really thought about. The dialogue always felt weird to me. I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense.
One text response I got was, why is Asriel making a game where he's stuck in the torment nexus as a flower, his parents are divorced, his dad is a child murderer, his sibling is dead, and so on and so forth. Like, that was something that was brought up. Like, Asriel's fucked up as all hell if he literally made this. So, honestly,
I think it's maybe meant to give the idea that Asriel still has his fucking stupid, edgy, God of Hyperdeath OC idea.
Yes,
right?
That's pretty much it. He has that idea. It references that.
So,
but yeah. Why exactly did this one do? Like, I think the reason why this one did better was, I guess it was less of a joke. It was like trying to be something a little bit more. It just kind of existed. Could this theory still be true? Does it even matter? I mean, maybe. I guess it could characterize him as a fucking weirdo, but it doesn't seem like he is that kind of.
I don't know.
Like the interactions with Caddy. Or was it Bratty? Like the dates.
Yeah.
No, it was like a letter or something.
It was a letter from Asriel to Caddy about their junior prom. You can get in chapter 4. It's easiest to get if you just start a new file on chapter 4.
Yeah, not very good. Pretty bad.
That theory always was just like, I don't know what the fucking make of this, and I have no comment on it. Honestly, this is one of those
That's
theories
fair.
that I'm just like,
it's just a theory. It's like the wrong number song theory. It's just a theory that is there and wouldn't really do much, honestly.
Oh, it's like I look at it, I'm like, well, I mean that's wrong, but I don't know what the fucking make of the dialogue itself. It's like,
yeah.
you know.
Here we have yet another, like, kind of old Chapter 1 theory, that Deltarune is a direct sequel to Undertale. At the end of Undertale, we see the monsters living in the human world. That's why we see them in the overground in Deltarune. We even see a similar school there, and that was what I wrote on the summary. And yeah,
this theory is like
really make
so
sense.
Obviously wrong. I don't know how you could possibly believe this. It gets debunked when you leave the house. Like, I could understand believing this while you're in the house, because I think I thought that initially as well, where I thought Chris was like a new human that Toriel adopted after Frisk, and that like the bed on the other side was Frisk, right? And so it's like the idea was like Frisk is off at college away or whatever, or has already left home, and that you're this new child who's like lame and shitty in comparison to Frisk, who's like the golden child and stuff.
Okay.
That's what I thought initially within like the first 5 minutes of playing Chapter 1 for the first time blind, right? And then I got to the line from Toriel, who's like, "Oh, I can't wait for Asriel to come home from college tomorrow." It immediately was, oh my god, this is a alternate universe, right?
Yeah.
It's not a direct sequel. You know,
I don't remember exactly what I thought, but I guess like I kind of got the impression that something was. I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just playing the game, but even if you ignore the contents like in the actual game, it was like pretty much debunked early on in like the lifespan of Chapter 1 by Toby Fox himself. He just in one of the interviews he said like it was a completely different universe, and like
it was like in a Q&A.
Yeah, I remember it was weird seeing people like go, "Oh, it's a prequel." No, it's a sequel. Like before the interview. Or like even after, because it was like, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense either way. So it was kind of nice to see Toby give like explanation, even though I guess it made it made sense even just by looking at the game.
This theory gets debunked within the first 10 minutes of Chapter 1. You know, that's about as much as I can say for it.
Still not true. Nobody liked it here. Overwhelmingly negative. Looking at like text responses, people said Toby, you know, like the interview, and Asriel, because Asriel is literally alive and well, or so we think. One person said more of a sequel from the player's perspective. It's maybe a sequel from Gaster's or the narrator's perspective. What exactly would that entail? I don't know. The players. I guess it is a sequel in the sense that it came out after Undertale. You know.
Yeah. It's only a sequel in the sense that they're part of the same series. In a similar manner to how, like, you know, Final Fantasy V is a sequel to Final Fantasy IV, even though they're not in the same universe, you know?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Which is also inspiration of Toby.
Yeah. Deltarune is a direct prequel to Undertale. So the thing is, this one is like much more believable and much more plausible, and I'm surprised that it got basically the same amount of scores.
I mean, it was like I said, it was debunked back in Chapter 1, even by Toby.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, he said it was a different universe.
That doesn't mean it's not a prequel. I mean, like,
no. This is a very No, Chestnut. This is a very different theory.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Because from like Stan's perspective, I'm pretty sure it is a direct prequel.
Yes, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it right here.
Is it actually a different theory?
It's Deltarune is a prequel in an alternate world to Undertale, not Undertale is a sequel. So why?
I'm just confused. Yeah, I mean, how did you describe it? Right.
The Deltarune is a direct prequel to Undertale. I said, according to this theory, Deltarune takes place before the Monster War. That's why we see them in the overground in Undertale.
Okay, yeah, that's stupid. Okay, yeah, no wonder why everybody give it a 1. Yeah, no.
Okay,
that's wrong.
Anyway, okay, yeah. So this theory is like separate from like the theory that Sans like came from Deltarune prequel. people from his perspective. This one did also really, really bad, but for some reason,
if you're phrasing it as like this is taking place before the monster-human war of Undertale, and that the events of Deltarune will then lead into the monster-human war, which will then cause the monsters to get sealed underground. Yeah, that's obviously really, really bad and obviously wrong. It makes negative sense timeline-wise, right? Because the monster-human war happened in like the medieval ages in Undertale.
Yeah, this is like an old chapter 1 theory. Everything I said about the previous theory applies here. Again, I don't need to repeat myself. But it did do slightly better than the previous one. Not by much though, but still. Do you have any reasons for why you think that maybe it's just by a slight amount?
It entirely comes down to
Do you think people
how you worded it, I think, because like saying that Deltarune is a direct prequel to Undertale, if it was just that sentence, I would say that's like that has like an extremely high likelihood of being correct overall, especially when we factor in Sans. But phrasing it as it's in the exact same universe and this happens before the monster-human war, that's obviously wrong. So that's But it still did fairly bad, so I think people understood what I meant. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe it's because I don't know. I can't come up with a reason for. I guess we've said a lot about this theory now, off camera and also on. Was that good? It was a little rough because it's like, well, that's just a mostly correct theory that you just phrased in the most terrible way possible to make it wrong, right?
No, but the other one comes later.
That's true. Which is why it's just a matter of I didn't know that because it wasn't on this list at all, and I just forgot about it.
That's fair. Sans is a darkner. This was also like a chapter 1 theory. Basically, we see Sans bleed in the no mercy route in Undertale, but we know monsters can't bleed. So maybe he's not a monster. Maybe he's like a darkner. And this is like a theory back in chapter 1. I believed in it because I had to figure out a way to explain how he could bleed. But you know, I guess it makes more sense to just have monsters bleed, and I still believe that Sans came from Deltarune with chapter 2, but just dropped this one because it didn't make sense.
I'm honestly shocked by the results of this one on the survey. I'm shocked by how high this one is. How many people gave it like 3s and 4s and 5s and stuff.
I mean, it still did. It still did pretty bad with a lot of ones. Even with just ignoring the ones, it still did bad. I would say.
Because like this was a chapter 1 theory, and if I remember correctly, the biggest argument for it was simply a matter of darkners have colored portraits and lightning.
Oh, that's a good one. I love that. I love that.
So therefore, and because Sans is white, you couldn't tell the difference, right?
I love that.
That's how the argument. But this is so obviously wrong, especially by the time chapter 2 came out and we learn how darkners actually work. It's just like, right, how the fuck is he a darkner? That makes no sense at all.
I love the color sprite evidence that we can't know if he is a darkner or lightner or not. I love that, even though the theory is just completely wrong. It's just so funny to me.
If I'm reading this graph right, 7.3% of people said, riddle me this, how is he in the light world?
Wait, how did that many people say that?
I don't know. That must be like a inaccuracy in the graph and the data image I'm looking at. That has to be. But I'm wondering what that 7% is, because that is a normal response, like a typed out response though.
Yeah, I can look at that afterward, after we're done.
Okay. Yeah. Like, edit it in post, please. And let me know later.
That would be funny. This theory just kind of failed to explain why Sans was bleeding. It just wasn't true at all. Text responses was like the object lore, like I mentioned. And
we don't even have any evidence that darkners bleed, right?
No,
we've never seen a darkner bleed. Exactly. So it's like...
Yeah, but we never saw any monsters bleed. So who the fuck is Papyrus then? Is he also a darkner?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I remember some people being like, just a few people being like confused about Lancer and him looking slightly like Sans. This early chapter 1.
Lancer? People confused why Sans look like Lancer? Oh, that's so
Now
weird.
why Lancer looked like Sans. Yeah. I remember seeing Lancer and just thinking, oh hey, a character that kind of looks like Sans. Okay. I didn't really think much of it. All the similarities is just mostly white and blue, and then like big grin. That's like the similarities. Yeah, not a darkner. We know this. The writing on the wall. It's like a theory that proposes that Alphys didn't write like the True Lab entries. The grammar is correct, which doesn't match with the text that Alphys write to you through the Hotland. And we see that Gaster always speaks formally. And these experiments have been going on quite some time. Enough time for there to have been a previous royal scientist. When the person is writing about Asriel and Tori I, they're writing as if they knew them personally. And Alphys couldn't be that old, could she? And, you know, doesn't she, like, still not speak formally in, like, few of the entries, though?
A lot of the entries are very informal.
So, I don't know. It's a weird video.
I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched it. I just never cared.
I watched the
seemed obviously
and
wrong.
that was it. Yeah. I know the guy who made the video has a different video. What was it called again? Time Travelers.
There's something about Sans. I don't remember. I've never seen any of his videos.
Let me just look it up real quick. Yeah, it was called How Do You Kill a Time Traveler? And it's less of a theory and more like a hypothetical scenario, just to like have fun, you know, just to
which is fine.
It's not a theory.
I mean, like I feel like the most I'm willing to give this theory credit at all is Alphys like started her experiments by reading up on like Gaster's old blueprints and notes regarding determination and stuff like that. And that's where she like started her experiments and stuff off of like the framework of like what had come before, which is like reasonable. That's like what every scientist does. They start with like what the last guy was already doing usually. That's not like, and that does, I don't think that takes away from Alphys' character to say it's like, hey, she was working off of the initial like discoveries that were made by Gaster before her regarding it. And like that's the most I'm willing to give it credit for. I think she wrote all the True Lab entries. In fact, on entry 17, which is like Gaster's entry, that wasn't written by Gaster even in Undertale. That was from Deltarune. Right? It doesn't even exist in Undertale. That's my take. Entry 17 is not from Undertale. Period. Full stop.
I wanted to say that about the time traveler video, and not like just a hypothetical scenario to think about. This one's more of a proper theory.
Yes. I would say that.
I don't know. I do think I kind of disagree with like the character. I don't know. You thinking it's not going against her character.
Well, no. I mean, this theory is going against Alphys' character. It completely removes like, her entire fucking character arc. Me being like, oh, well, you know, she started her experiments by working off of Gaster's original notes, right? But I'm not saying Gaster wrote any of the True Lab entries. I don't think that. Those are all Alphys. Because if I remember correctly, she mentions she found blueprints for stuff.
Yeah.
For like the determination extractor. So it seems like Gaster made like some schematics for it and stuff and never actually built it. And then Alphys found them and decided to like finish the project, right? And then she did her own experiments and stuff with it, which of course created the amalgamates and Flowey.
Yeah. Looking at like the text responses, people do say butchers Alphys' character arc for nothing. This misogynistic to attributed all to Gaster. This is low-key misogyny, character assassination. People brought up her writing style. One of the worst real theories in the fandom. And then one person says, some entries are Alphys and some are Gaster. Only one is Gaster. Yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say here. This was kind of controversial.
I don't know. It seemed to me, especially with how one of the Gaster followers talks about Alphys replacing Gaster, is that Gaster died a very long time ago, and then Asgore waited a very long time to get a new royal scientist.
Yeah.
So it seems like it was at least like a few generations removed, right? And so it's like Gaster was the royal scientist. He did a bunch of stuff. He then died of mysterious circumstances in Undertale. And then a very long time passed, and there was just no royal scientist for an extended period of time. And then Alphys made Mettaton, and then Asgore hired her on as the new royal scientist because of that. And then Alphys, got into the lab and stuff, and she acquired Gaster's old lab, as that would happen. And she found some of Gaster's old shit, and she was like, okay, I can start off of these and read up on this and do all that, and then do my own experiments off of the bench works of the previous royal scientist, right? And that's what I think is meant to be implied to happen.
Yeah, not much else to say here. I do want to say that since this is like kind of someone's specific YouTube video, please do not send any harassment of any kind. It is like a controversial theory, but don't just send like harassment.
I've never even seen the video. It's just
that's
I
fair.
Don't even really care, to be honest.
It did have a bug.
It's just like it's arguing a point that's very explicitly stated isn't the case in game.
Yes.
Like you just have to actively like talk against the dialogue that's explicitly stated in the game. It like says it like a dozen times that Alphys wrote these entries and did all these things, and you're just arguing that she didn't actually do anything, and that's just weird. It's just like so she was concerned about like lying to all these people for literally nothing because she didn't actually do any of it because it was all Gaster, despite the fact that Gaster had died like years and years and years before Alphys was probably even born. It's like it's just stupid.
There was like one big video debunking it, but yeah.
Yeah, I do remember watching Dork's video, like arguing debunking the theory, even though I didn't watch the original theory. So.
Yeah, I think that applied to a lot of people. But enough of this. Okay. This next one is Naked Ralsei. So, in chapter 1, we see him like take off his cloak, and later he takes off his hat, and we see that he's like a dreamer. And then in chapter 2, we see him take off his glasses. So he's taking more and more off his clothes. And eventually, at one point, we're gonna see him. Yeah,
the theory is that each chapter, he's gonna take off a different article of clothing until he's eventually naked.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
So this is like a really, really interesting theory. It kind of like now chapter 4 kind of partially debunks it because he didn't take off any clothes in chapter 4.
Yeah.
In chapter 3, though, he does put on the rocker outfit and reveals his like belly and stuff. So he did get a bit more naked in chapter 3. But chapter 4 could just be a break chapter, and we could keep going with it in chapter 5 and 6 and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could come back.
No. Ralsei naked theory was true, just only for chapter 1 and 3. It kind of moves away from the typical. Yeah, but like. No, I'm like in chapter 4 goes away from typical structures, so we're not gonna get any more naked Ralsei because it moved away from that structure.
Okay, so, but like more seriously though, this is like a weird joke theory, right? That's like partially serious in like a specific sense of the idea of Ralsei's character arc and how he's opening up and becoming more of his own person. But the idea of him taking off clothing as a showing of himself becoming more himself and becoming more of his own person, right?
I love how
which is like partially true because like him taking off his hat is like a big character moment because like his hat is specifically covering him in shadow and hiding his face and revealing his identity, and that the more clothing he's taking off, the more he becomes open and comfortable in his own body and stuff, and more comfortable opening up to others and his relationships with others and stuff.
Yeah, this one has the most ironic 1 out of 10 from these controversial theories. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know.
This theory is weird because I both love it as a joke. I think the joke itself is very, very funny. The idea of Ralsei taking off an article of clothing every chapter, which just because it happened in the first 2, right? But then the actual like, but wait, no, seriously though, part of like, okay, this actually is him taking off those clothing is actually correlating with his character arc. Actually, for realsies, is also like funny to me.
Looking at like text responses, people were like weirded out since he's like a young little goat guy, possibly minor,
Yeah, he's like 3 days old.
3 days old. Everyone in this game is 3 days old. More of a troll theory, some people said. Yeah, I guess this is the best joke theory then, because with the ironic 10s.
This is a good joke theory.
Yeah.
I think this is a good joke theory because, like I said, it's like, okay, but him actually taking those clothes off is correlating with his character arc, though, for realsies.
Yeah. I think I gave this a 6 when I did this survey because I thought it was funny.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I gave it a 10. Yeah.
Oh, awesome sauce. Yeah, that's great. I forgot this wasn't even the final theory.
Don't worry. Chapter 4 might have debunked it, but it's not really dead yet because Chapter 3 kept it alive. It's going to come back. We're going to get a big comeback in Chapter 5.
Yeah.
He's going to take off his scarf. Trust me.
Make it Ralsei, believers. That doesn't sound great out of context.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Oh boy, I didn't write any notes for this one. Incel Papyrus. So, in Undertale, one of the old concept art for Papyrus was that he was like a shut-in guy. He still kind of is, but he was like more of like a Redditor type.
He was like a weird Redditor 4chan stereotype. I remember one of the things where it's like his favorite show is My Little Pony. That was the fucking joke. And Toby then moved very far away from that characterization of him.
Thank God. I like the current Papyrus a lot more.
And this theory is that Toby has decided to double back on that in Deltarune, and that's how Papyrus is going to be like in Deltarune.
Yeah. This is I don't like this or Papyrus Knight. I think these are just like, as we can see, like in Deltarune, all of the characters from Undertale act like the same exact way. It's the same personalities and stuff. So I don't expect Papyrus to be any different. And
honestly, I could kind of see this being true, and I think it would be really, really funny if this was true. It's not as funny as Papyrus not being in Deltarune, and that the brother Sans was talking about was actually Little Sans. That would be funnier.
Or maybe Dirty Brother.
Yeah, or maybe it'll be Red Sans, where it's just Sans, but he has a red hoodie instead, and that would be pretty funny.
Or what about has a very special attack?
Maybe it'll be Baby Bones, you know?
Baby Bones, yeah. Yeah, I don't like this one because it's like, I guess it's kind of, I don't know, it is kind of an alternate universe, but it is also kind of like character assassination at the same time.
I don't know. It seems like Papyrus doesn't remember anything from Deltarune in Undertale.
It's weird. The lore there is so weird.
So maybe during the events of Deltarune, Papyrus gets bonked on the head and he just forgets everything.
No.
And then Sans uses his Rick and Morty portal gun and portals into Deltarune and gets trapped there because it breaks.
Chestnut.
Yeah.
Have you heard of PTSD? That's what Papyrus got from being the knight. He wanted to forget about all the bad stuff he did, so he's like covering it up with like jokes and happy-go-lucky persona. Now,
anyway, this one was from the bonus survey, the extra bonus survey. It doesn't have nearly as many votes, but I think it would have been, the graph would look the same, honestly.
Yeah, it would have.
I don't know. This theory is like not yet debunked. It could still happen.
Yes, it can still happen. So, whoop-de-doo. I guess this one's more likely than Papyrus Knight, if that makes you feel any better.
More likely than Papyrus Knight? Yeah.
Yeah, gazillion times.
Yeah, this is much more likely than Papyrus Knight. It would also be much more acceptable than Papyrus Knight. It just wouldn't make me want to, like, demand a refund.
Well, too late. We've already played too much of the game. This next one, okay. So someone on the original survey, on the question about like any theories I forgot, like any hidden gems, someone brought up MathPad giving Undertale to the Pope. So I thought it would be funny to add this one. And you can see that looking at just like the text responses, you can see a lot of people just being confused as to why it's there. And
yes, I'm confused under why this was here.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be funny. I don't know. I don't know. But as we know, it seems like
one of the text responses says like this is a fact, not a theory, and it's like that they're correct.
Yeah, he did give Undertale to the Pope. There's like 5 people who disagree with that, who think it's not true, and then there's like 11 people who are like, I'm in the middle of this. I'm neutral.
0 people gave this a 4 out of 10.
0 people. Oh yeah, I guess this. Okay. I mean, obviously, the people are giving this a low rating because it's weird that I even put this on here. I'm sorry. But at least people agree that it is a fact, that it was a thing that happened. So
Yeah.
No, I know to trust these people.
It sure was an Undertale.
It sure was an Undertale. You're right about that. Okay, looking at like the final words that people had to say about this category, looking at like how much people cared about this aspect, their knowledge, the chart is weirdly flat. Like it seems like people interpreted this like very differently. Like, oh, I don't care about any of these theories.
Yeah, I don't care about these meme theories and bad dinky theories that are bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but it's not the weird thing. If you look at something like, I don't know, the third entity category, which we'll get to at some point, that one has like an overwhelming amount of people giving it like a 1 out of 6 from like how much they care about that aspect of the game. But then and ignoring like each side, it is pretty flat, but then there is also like a tiny spike in like 6s. So it's like, oh, I care about this aspect of the game because I want it to be true. I want this to be like debunked. And then you also have people saying I don't care about this aspect of the game at all, you know?
Yeah.
But this one's weirdly flat instead. You have people saying they have knowledge on this aspect because, you know, people are aware of these theories and the aspects of the game that debunk said theories. You know, but looking at like text responses on like final words on this category, people said like, these are less controversial theories and more debunked than joke theories. Like, yeah, we said that. One person said, was it really fair to include these theories? I think that is a fair point. Like, yeah, someone also said, are some of these really necessary? Do you think that, or do you agree with that?
I feel like most of these were important to include on the survey.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it.
Yeah. Because now you'll forever know that these theories existed if you didn't know before. I am sorry. Another person said, a lot of these are crack theories that are really just jokes, but some of them are at least funny. Another said, some of these are kinda shitpost theories. Yeah, a lot of the same. One person said, I held back myself from rating some of these 10 out of 10s because they're funny. So yeah, people are giving ironic 10 out of 10s. But yeah.
Yeah.
These are awful, someone said. So yeah, these weren't really treated with respect. They were just kind of treated as jokes or just really bad theories, as we can see.
Yep.
Well, that's enough for these controversial theories.
And that was it for those theories, just within that topic. Before anything else, I want to say that Chestnut just came out with a new video he's been working on for months now. It's about everything surrounding Chris and Dess's relationship. I don't feel I see enough people talk about that part of the game, so please check out the video. It's great. So, if you're interested in seeing more from the survey, then check out the videos from specific categories already out within the playlist, or subscribe for more of these. Or you can subscribe for our personalities. I guess that's possible too. Who wouldn't want more of this goat? I already have enough of him. Well, that's it for me. Check out my Patreon, my Ko-Fi, my other art like music, or Chestnut's channel. He also makes videos. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye. Stop right there. Asriel from the hit game Undertale? What? No, I'm not Asriel. I have some really bad news. Okay. Me being dead, me being a dead goat, was just a red herring. That theory was just foreshadowing to the real victim. You. Wait, don't you remember? You exploded way back in the Susie video, and now you're dead. No, that can't be real. Yes. Oh. And now you must play this shitty game that sucks. No.